Welcome to Deep Dive with Dr. D, our Sunday morning recording. And I have Hailee with us today as our guest. I'm really excited to talk to her. There is a couple things for you. Your Douglas annual Christmas card.
Wait.
Yeah. And I don't think you have a copy of my book yet.
I don't.
Okay. So I'll do my plug for it. If you haven't gotten Grit Over Shame, there it is. You can get it wherever you buy books. That's your copy. Enjoy. That's the short story of the wild ride of my life.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah, pretty crazy to think. So I have Hailee with me today, and it's been just about a year that we've known each other.
Actually, yeah.
Almost exactly,
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah, almost exactly a year. Santa and Mrs. Claus were just at T-Mobile yesterday, our second time, and yeah, it was a year ago.
You broke danced.
I did yesterday.
Break-danced.
She posted the video on
I
Community
saw.
Connect. That was hilarious. That little boy was so excited to see Santa.
I don't think you heard him, but as he was leaving, he was like, "Merry Chris," like he couldn't pronounce it. It was so
That's
cute.
funny. That was great. So, let's do this. I know you. I know a little bit of you. I know, we actually, you shared bits of your life and your transformation that you've had for yourself physically. And then I think emotionally too, I could say that. But for those that don't know you in the world, here's your opportunity to share with who you are as Hailee.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, could be.
I'm a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think my favorite title is being a big sister. I have 8 siblings, but we all either have a different mom or a different dad, or it's kind of like different moms or different dads, or some of us have like same dad, but then
8 siblings.
yes.
Okay, go on.
And we're all everywhere. Like the ages are everywhere.
Okay. And are you in contact with all of them?
For the most part, yes. One of them I love a lot. He's on his own little wild ride. He'll probably have his own book someday. But
Okay.
I do get texts here and there, and those are always really fun. But for the most part, I'm the most involved with my 3 little brothers.
Okay. And where do they live?
They live in Tacoma
Oh,
with their mom.
did I know this?
I don't know.
I'm from Tacoma.
No way.
That's exciting.
I'm from Renton, so.
What part of Tacoma?
Actually, okay, you're gonna get mad at me because it's Algona.
Yeah, that's not
like,
Tacoma.
Okay, it's on Tacoma Street, but like I think
Yeah, it's all right.
When I say
It's
Algona,
okay.
people don't know.
Yeah,
where
they
it
don't know
is.
where it is. Algona Pacific. Yes.
Yeah, so
okay.
in that area.
Yeah.
With
Okay.
my mom.
Yeah.
And
where the age? Where are you? Oldest? Youngest?
for so I'm in the middle. So like my siblings on my bio mom side don't know my siblings on my bio dad side. So it's really
Interesting.
confused because like they
Yeah.
don't share a parent. So I'm in the middle on both, but then I'm the oldest sister. I'd say I'm the most involved with the boys.
Okay.
And so my youngest is 9, and then it's a 15-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Okay.
Which the 9-year-old still thinks I'm cool, so I'm really hanging on to that.
Yeah.
But I do adore all 3 of them. Like I don't know. That's my favorite title, I think.
Okay. So being a sister.
Being the big sister.
The big sister. Yeah, that's.
Because I get to like spoil them and play games with them, and it's nice watching like they're so intelligent and they're really good. Like watching them blossom under certain circumstances. Like I don't want to talk too much about their situation just because like not keep their privacy, but they're very resilient and like it's fun when you have 3 kids and like we have all the same facial features, but like I'm half Asian. I don't know if you knew that. And so but like obviously I have the red hair, so they have like the darker skin and like the really dark hair, but like we have the same nose and the same eyes, and it's like watch, even though I didn't meet them till I was 19 as well.
Oh.
So like
Wow.
even though weren't raised together, but like we all do this thing where if we're mad we kind of ball up our fists, and I didn't know that until for a while. But
You saw them.
well, I was telling them, I was trying to teach them like you need to use your words, like not you know when you get upset, like we trying to have them be more in touch with their emotions. And then I got mad at T-Mobile because the customer was being mean to me. And then I balled up my fist. And then they were like, Hailee, like, I've never seen that before. You balled up your fist. And I was like, that was after weeks of me telling the boys, like, you can't do that. You got to use your emotions. But even though we didn't grow up together, like, we have a lot of those same traits. And that's been really fun and interesting.
So so you didn't meet them until you were 19?
Yes.
How did that come about?
Well, after I graduated high school, I went to community college in Walla Walla. I knew I had a bio dad out there, he skedaddled really fast. And so, I reached out to him on Facebook because I had a picture of him and I knew his name. And I think when you come from like what I grew up with, you kind of, you make things up in your head where I'm like, oh, my real dad's out there. Like, he's going to love me. He's going to, you know. And so I kind of, this picture of him that I had, I kind of made up like a knight in shining armor. And then I reached out to him. He didn't answer, but then I have an older brother that I reached out to. And then that's kind of how that started.
Okay.
But my mother has a type, and so it didn't...
Describe her type.
Very, like, power is in being intimidating and screaming and like, I don't want to work for anything. Like, the world owes me everything. Like, I don't want to have to work for it.
That's the man she.
Yes. Very, likes other women on top of that woman and like, just very narcissistic, very, didn't really make a lot of use of their life, and to make up for that, likes to, I'm powerful by...
Play the victim role.
Oh, yes. And
yeah, woe is me.
Yeah. I mean, just it didn't go very well because obviously at that point I'm an adult and I pretty much raised myself. Like, I didn't really like how he was speaking to his wife and how he was speaking to the boys and how, like, and when he wanted women to be submissive, but you didn't raise me submissive because you weren't there. Like, he didn't really like that. And so, sent me on my way, and then took the boys away. And that was really hard for like 4 years. I didn't get to speak to them. But at this point, they're no longer allowed in the house. And, I'm very close with his wife now. And, there's, certain things in place where he's not allowed within a range. And so it was really hard at first, but it kind of worked out for the best because now I have my little brothers and like I have this new relationship with their mom, and it worked out. I didn't see it that way for a while. I was really
this is, you know, I think it would take a few sit downs to really, and we're not going to do this, to really delve into your multi-layered, convoluted path.
I told you it was like a
I know. Yeah, no. And well, I mean, if you read my book, okay, we have a lot of similarities in that, you know, I had dads of the week growing up. I didn't find my biological father until I was 29. Had a different experience. I was fortunate. We actually had a decent relationship until he passed, but I want to ask you, in fact, this might be... Oh yeah, we'll go into the first. So, Ellensburg. Before we do this, before we go to the question, what brought you to Ellensburg?
School. I got my AA in Walla Walla.
Yeah.
And then I finished out there, so
yeah.
This was.
So you were going to come to Central.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what's brought you here, and you've been at T-Mobile how long now?
3 years.
3 years, a while.
3-ish years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm an observer of people. Like, I'm an observer. You call this term situational awareness, and I know you have that. You probably have it at a very acute level because I know you've been through a lot of things, so you're very aware of what's going. Anyway, and I'll never forget watching you with this customer. I don't remember it happened yesterday too when you were doing the screen protector for the guy. You were sitting there. So Hailee's sitting there taking care of this customer. You're taking care of him, and I'm watching you like you've got it down to an art form, putting the screen protector on. But while you're doing that, you are getting to know that customer. You are having a conversation. So this goes to this first question. We haven't known each other a long time, but it was clear right away you're great with people, because I saw it a year ago when I was in there, and it's what really made me want to get to know you a little bit. Like that's like a powerful skill to have, right? Where do you think that ability to connect with others comes from for you?
I mean, I think part of it is just my natural personality, but a larger part of that, whether that's my personality now, I think it's really easy to put myself in other people's shoes, because like I've lived in the city, and then I've also lived in small towns. Like I've been morbidly obese and also like underweight. I've had nobody to talk to, like no friends at all, and I've had to like where I'm pretty comfy in like the amount of connections I've had. I'm the middle child. I'm the big sister in some parts of it. Like I think I've been homeless. I've also like had roommates and lived in apartments, and like.
Do you mind if I ask how old you are?
25.
Okay. So I think Katrina and I were talking like how I put you no more than, so at 25. So in 25 short years, you might think that's a long, but you have been through a lot.
Yes.
A lot. You I think it was through text message where you sent me the picture of you. What was your weight at one time?
I was 300 pounds.
300 pounds.
18.
18.
Yes.
Yeah. And living in you can share what you want to share, but you were living in a pretty shitty situation.
I mean, I'm pretty open about it. Like
yeah.
I'm very proud of like, I mean, I
what you've been able to come out of.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm still like I feel like even from a year ago when you first met me, I'm a different person. Like I'm constantly evolving and changing and like learning. But like I was abused from when I was 4 till I was 16. And that's a long time. That's when your brain is developing. And like, I think it's common for like when you don't. I didn't have an emotional connection to my mother or father. I think not even it was my stepdad. Like my mother married my stepdad 3 months after knowing him. And so, like very early on, I think it was hard watching or like growing up and it was like your entire existence is just like an inconvenience. It kind of stems with like what I said about my bio dad. I think my parents that I grew up with were very unhappy with their lives. And so I think I was my mother got pregnant at 16 with my sister and then had me with her softball coach or her t-ball coach. And I think she kind of became a product of her environment. She dated the same men over and over again. And so I think at that point, like I was just a reflection of like another mistake she'd made. And then when you add like the other kids in the family,
so was the abuse from your mom or the dad?
It was both.
Both.
I think it started with the dad. And then I think it was hard because like as a child responding to the environment was in, like they would tell this story to people. They would say like, oh yeah, Hailee's always been like a problem child because my mother would leave me with my stepdad, and this was as like a 4 years old, when she would go to work and stuff like that, and I would scream so hard I would pass out, and like other people would think like maybe like this child's terrified of being alone with this person, but I was labeled as a problem child because I would throw a tantrum every time she would leave me with him. And that kind of became like the label for the rest of my life. It was
you're a problem child.
I was the problem child. Well, and it was like all of us were punished. Like, granted, like this man would, like my mother would give him puppies to like distract him, I think, and the puppies would do normal things like pee in the house or like chew on something, and then we would have to watch him beat them, and then they would bring them back to the that's how he treated us as kids too. It was like you did any like I even broke my leg when I was young. I don't remember the exact age, probably like 5 or 6, maybe a little bit older. And I broke it off something really little. Like it didn't seem like I broke it, but I was in a lot of pain. And I remember like it for days, like I remember crying in the car, like my leg was broken, but it wasn't, it was like fractured in two places, but it wasn't like a clean break, you know, it wasn't like the bone sticking out. And for days I was crying about it or whatever, and it was like, oh, you're such a princess, like you just want attention, like suck it up, you know, like da da da. They didn't believe me that I was in pain, and that kind of became like the rest of my life. It was anytime I needed care or anything like that, it was like, you're so spoiled, or you think the world revolves around you. And it kind of just like, that's why I gained so much weight, because that's the comfort I had. It was, I didn't have a mom to go to when I was sad. I think she would also, like, again, became a product of her environment. So both of my parents were very morbidly obese, and unhappy with each other. And so it was like they would have a bad day at work, and then it was like they would come home and put you in situations where like you couldn't not get in trouble. And like the power came from humiliation and beatings. And like as I got a little bit older, my stepdad would threaten me with like GI parties, he would call them, I don't know thing, but he would make me like strip down and then clean his bathroom, and it was like while screaming at you and spitting on you, like telling you things. And so like you learn very early on to just like for most of my life, I think I was just numb. And even then, when you're not giving them the reaction, like you're not crying or you're not, then it just makes it worse. And so there was no winning.
You adapt.
Yeah.
To the environment.
There was times where, and it's hard now as an adult, because like I work with kids a lot. I'm a nanny. I have my little brothers. Like I've been in schools, and it's like, obviously kids can be frustrating. Like there's times where like I am, especially with my teenage brothers, like, but I've never once wanted to hurt them or humiliate them or, and so that's always been hard for me to come to terms with, especially like when I'm, I've nanny toddlers, and it's like, I can be so like overwhelmed or frustrated, and it's never once been like, I'm going to feel better by like hurting this kid.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. And it's taken me a while to like come to terms. I think I still, it's like, I'm 25 now, but people don't realize like I didn't start treating like what has happened to me until like a few years ago. And so like I don't think people understand that like I'm doing the best I can for what I've been dealt with. And I think like it's like you're given no life skills and they're just like thrown out there, and it's like
good luck.
Yeah. And then on top of that, like you don't,
and then you're shamed and guilted when you don't figure it out.
Yes.
But you were given this shit hand, dealt this terrible hand, right, as a child, and now go out and be an adult, and when you fuck that up, because you were given no skills here, the world goes, well, you need to figure it out.
Yes.
Right? And that's garbage.
And I mean, I think that's where I guess, like, come to terms with it, like, that's why I do so well with people, and like I do genuinely care about people. I do genuinely want to like I see a lot of emotions that come up when people are frustrated, stuff like that. But on top of it, like I wish I could say like, I think when you go through what I went through, you want to be like, I've done it all by myself, like I don't need anybody. But that's not the case. Like I didn't have any skills after I left, and I had to learn those, and the only way I got those was by making connections and like talking to people, and like I tried.
How'd you figure that out, though? How'd you figure out a way out?
I think I've been very lucky in the fact that, like, I couldn't turn to, like, I turned to food. Okay. But I didn't really, it's hard because I don't want to, like, put my siblings' business out there, but like I always had a sibling to take care of. Okay. And because I have my stepbrother, obviously like he came with my stepdad. We were 4 months apart, and at that point it's like having a twin brother. Like you go through things at the exact same age at the exact same time. I feel like every child who is in it, like it's always different for each. That's the brother that I think fully understands exactly what we went through, because we went through it at the exact same time.
So having that common experience?
Yeah. The difference was we handled things very differently. And so my brother did turn to drugs and stuff like that, and it was kind of like a back and forth. I'm very in. It's kind of the same thing. He was responding to his environment, was labeled a bad kid. I actually remember, like when we were younger, he had taken a bunch of pills, and I remember like having to like shove my fingers in his mouth, you know, like trying to get him to throw up, and like spending the whole night like checking his breathing. My parents didn't take him to the hospital. Next day they beat him and called him a drug addict. They didn't realize like instead of being like, why did he take all these pills? It was,
how dare you?
Yeah, you're a drug addict.
Make my life uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember being terrified of like, I think my brother, you know, and so we went through very different paths, and like he kind of had to rely on me, so I kind of had to stay on that path. And I think that's just kind of, I've coasted off that. I think being a sibling has kind of saved my life because I couldn't, like, if I fall down, then like everybody falls down at that point. And I think it's like, I don't know. I remember as a kid too, like I was obviously, you're overweight and you're a redhead, you're an easy target. And so I didn't really have, in elementary school, I didn't have, like, I was bullied relentlessly. And then it's like, that's kind of all you know, because it's like you go to school and you're bullied and told that you're disgusting, and, you know, and then you go home and you're told that you're disgusting.
That's your identity.
That's
who you are.
All you have. That's your only. And then, so I made friends with, there was like paras and a recess and stuff like that. I kind of realized very early on that, like, even though these kids were, you know, obviously I wanted friendship, I wanted to belong, but then they couldn't even give me like the resources I needed at the time. Like there was an elderly lady down the street. I would go down there and like I'd spend my birthday party with her. We rented the Shrek movies, but like she would, like, whenever my parents would kick me out, I would go to her and she would give me like a bed to sleep in. We didn't have jackets. I remember it being cold, and so I kind of realized, like, I'm making friends with these teachers on the playground, you know, like the recess teachers, and like they're realizing I don't have a jacket, and like, so like one of them knitted me gloves, and then I was like, oh, like I have a brother, like, can, you know, and so, and this was in elementary school. I realized that like making connections was the way to get what you like
as a form of survival, but it taught you that while you're going through this highly traumatic situation, that there were adults out there that could care. You didn't have friends in your peer groups because that was a terrible experience, but there were some adults that cared.
I will say around middle school, I figured out that if you're funny, then you can be as fat as you want. And I think, so like I did have genuine, you know, as you get older, like, you know, stuff doesn't, and so I did have genuinely good friends. And actually that's kind of what, when I was 16, my brother had gotten in a lot of trouble and gotten taken out, or like they kicked him out. I think at that point it was, as we're getting older and able to like advocate for ourselves and like stand up, it was easier to just get rid of us. And so
when you say they kicked him out, what did that look like?
I wasn't there when it happened. I think like after you get hit a lot, it doesn't affect you as much.
Right. But when you say they kicked him out,
I came home and they just said he was gone. I'm assuming there was a fight. I know exactly what happened because it happened to me a couple weeks.
But where did he go?
He went to the streets. And then he went and stayed with a friend. I kind of started, I think he's still on the spiral for that.
Yeah.
But a few weeks, I was so over it at this point. And, so I don't remember everything. I'd come home, and I would also like to say, like, the punishments that were dealt out, I never smoked, I never drank, I never went out. I followed my curfew to a T. I also worked 2 jobs in high school, and I was underage, so my bank account was connected to theirs. Every single paycheck I made for my jobs went to them. So I worked 2 jobs in high school, and then I've not seen any of that money. They took all of it. So the punishments that were being dealt out, like, I was a good kid, and it took me a while to realize that, but like getting your, like,
you were following the rules, even though the rules were crazy.
The rules to a T, but it was like I was tired from working 2 jobs, and it was like you would come home, and if they caught you sleeping, it was, you're so lazy, you're so I still can only sleep in like 2-hour increments because like you had to listen to you cannot be caught sleeping. I remember my mom shoving my head into a sink because there was a speck left on there when I was doing the dishes. Granted, they never cleaned, they never did anything. Like,
well, we've been talking about this a little bit, but maybe just expand on this question. So you've been open, and we've been talking about having some struggles earlier in life. You've had a lot of struggles. Like, if you read my book, I'm a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. My siblings and I, all of us, are all victims of abuse right? So it's familiar to me what you're talking about. But even with that, we don't share the horrors of what I know experienced. And so we're just hearing snippets, and I think that's normal. I think that's okay, right? So you've had some struggles.
A little bit.
Right? And you're 25, and you're sitting here with me, and I admire you, not because you've had struggles, but I admire you for how you present yourself in the world as a 25-year-old woman who's been through what you've been through. So here's the question. What's something you've learned from those experiences that still shapes who you are today?
I always say, like I've done I still do a lot of therapy. I still do a lot of, I think I learned that, I think being the black sheep also kind of saved me. I think, when you're growing up, like, your parents can do no wrong. Like, you just want their love and validation. Yeah. And I think if they would have loved and cared about me, I would have probably ended up like them. I learned what it looks like on the outside. Like, your power doesn't come from hurting other people. Yeah. I remember being a little kid, and it was like anybody that they deemed like less than them. So like McDonald's workers or restaurant workers, anybody. It was like they were so unhappy with themselves that's.
Did they work?
They did. And,
what did they do?
I don't know. She did mortgaging.
Okay. Yeah.
So
they had jobs, they had careers. So to the outside world, they were probably great people.
That's what was really frustrating.
Isn't that? Oh, dude. Yeah.
He could be very funny and charming, and on the outside, very,
My abuser was an icon in the community. He was a deacon at his church. He was like just everyone was like, oh, he's the best ever. Mm-hmm. But they didn't know what was happening behind closed doors. So they had that image.
Yes. Well, I think, he was in the military, and he hid behind that.
Yep.
Like, he loved that title. Mm-hmm. He loved, like, and so I think he hid behind, like, how could I be that person?
Yeah. So if I heard you correctly, so by you being the black sheep, because I want to try to frame this right, by you being the black sheep, it's helped you to not be like them.
Yes. Because, so like with the McDonald's work and stuff like
that.
Yeah. I remember being, like, we would go out to a restaurant or something. Mm-hmm. One, they would always try to get their meal for free. But two, they loved putting, like, it was horrifying. Like, they would always be so disrespectful to the staff. They'd always start a problem. I remember going through a McDonald's line once, and, like, the lady was nice. And then, like, I remember it was a young woman, and he was like, that's why you don't have any teeth, like just screaming at her over a McDonald's order.
And you're the child.
Yes.
With these adults, yes. And you're watching this happen.
I would literally, every time this happened at a restaurant, we would go out to the car, I would be like, I have to go to the bathroom, and run back inside and try to apologize to all the staff.
Really?
And that happened, like, it's still, like, I work in customer service. As soon as I'm on the other end of that, I'm like, I'll tip you like 90% of the bill. Like, I'm always like, it's like, they have to know. Yes, I still, like, I still get anxious.
I would be shocked beyond measure to ever, and again, I've only known you a year, but I've seen you, how you are in the world, and I would never see that from you. Never, ever. Like that you would treat someone like that.
I am, like, I know that it takes me so long to, like, give up on people or to, like, get upset. And so when I get
Do you think
there,
too much?
yes, but also I'd say, like I said, I feel like I'm a different person than when I met you last year. Like, I'm just, like, within the last, I think, 5 months or so.
Yeah.
Like, I've really, I think it's a double-edged sword where it's like, I think I open myself up to everybody, and it's like, I need to take care of everybody. And then also, like, if I give up on people, on my parents who gave up on me, you know? But then now it's kind of where I'm really, like, when you let everyone have access to you and just, like, you don't have anything left. And so now it's like I'm standing strict on my boundaries and, like, standing up for myself. And I'd say my boss is actually, and, like, my boss and his wife are awesome. Like, they
I'm gonna have him on.
That's what he should. He's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And, like, both of them have been, like, people that, you know, always make the best of their situation. Like,
He just seems like a kind person, like just a good human.
He's like an example of, like, the opposite of the men that we've experienced, where it's like maybe didn't, you know, had whatever trials and tribulations life.
Yeah.
Is like 100% a girl dad, and, like, is literally always there for the store, and has told us, like, told me specifically, like, you need to stand up for yourself. Like, you need to, like,
imagine if we had that when we were kids.
I would have been a powerhouse.
Right.
I'd probably be like, I don't know, I'm cool.
I'm gonna say, I hear what you're saying. You are a powerhouse now, but I also agree with you. Imagine, like, that flag is from the one stepdad I had along the way that actually gave a shit, Johnny, and he's why I'm the father I am today. But, like, that was an anomaly, right? I had all these dads of the week. That's what we had. It was fucking great, and they were not good. Yeah. Okay. Okay. These are similar questions, but I think good because this is good conversation. You work closely with people every day and do it with a lot of care. Like, if you're out here listening, I haven't seen the level of quality customer service from a young person. I'm being honest with you, and I wouldn't sugarcoat this, that you give. Like yesterday, if you've been watching, I'm watching Hailee, and it's this guy comes in and he wants a screen protector on his phone. So I'm watching you, and she's doing it with just, like, precision. Like, you've done that, I could tell. But while she's doing that, she's not just silently doing it. She's having a conversation with this guy and getting to know him. It was like that. You don't see that. You don't see that a lot. So here we go. I get excited. You work closely with people every day and do it with a lot of care. How have your life experiences influenced the way you show up for others now? Because there are a lot of people who have been through what you've been through, I was 30 when I started doing my own healing, and it took me till 30, but you're 25, and I'm sure you got growth to go, but answer that question.
So I think part of it is, like, you get back what you give, and part of that is, like,
but you grew up not learning that. You didn't learn that growing up. You learned up fucking garbage, like complete garbage. So how
from them specifically, but like I said, if you don't have those skills, you have to make connections with people that have it, and it's like
who has it been along the way that's helped you with that?
Honestly, like, a lot. Like, I had my wrestling coach.
Okay.
And because I started wrestling in high school, I went from
a coach.
Yes. And like, he really, after I got my parents, like, wrote away the rights and everything.
How old were you when that happened?
16. So after my brother got kicked out, I came home, and then I don't remember the situation. I was kind of over it. I said, I'm gonna tell people, like, if you don't let TJ come back, sorry, if you don't let my brother come back, I'm gonna
So you were done.
Yes. I couldn't take it anymore, and it turned into my stepdad dragging me down the hallway by my hair, and spitting on me and holding me up against the wall and saying, like, he kicked me out next, basically. And then, like, the last
where'd
thing,
you go?
I grabbed two he gave me 10 minutes to grab stuff, and the whole time berating me, telling me he couldn't wait till he saw me selling myself on the side of the road, like, all of this. I grabbed 2 separate shoes. I remember I was so, like, in shock. 2 shoes that didn't match, in a trash bag, and just kind of threw random stuff in, and I was just kind of wandering down the street, like, I think I was kind of in shock, and...
So you're 16.
Yes.
Okay.
One of my other neighbors, I used to, like, play with their daughter when we were kids. She kind of saw me walking. It was raining, so she saw me walking down the street, and then she said, "Where are you?" Like, she thought I was going to the laundromat or something. I said, I think I just got kicked out. I don't remember. She brought me back to her house, let me take a shower. She let me use, because again, this was, like, right across the street. She let me use the phone to call a friend. So I started just kind of, like, couch hopping,
surfing.
stuff like that. At that point, there's 2 kids that are homeless and not, in school. So then the school kind of got involved.
Okay. Because your brothers, were you in contact with your brother, or are you guys kind of doing your own thing?
I wasn't in contact with him
Okay.
at this point. He's kind of off. I was trying to, like, track him down, but
Yep.
and then
So the school gets involved.
yes, and then a different neighbor. And again, I think, like, the neighbors were very kind to me because, like, they heard all the screaming. They knew. Yeah. I used to babysit for one of the other neighbors. And she had, after I'd been, like, kind of couch surfing for a while. And, like, sometimes I would just, like, wander around and wait for school to start. She contacted me and was like, "Hailee, like, where are you? I asked your mom, like, if you could babysit, and she said that you left because you were doing drugs and, like, da-da, but that doesn't sound like you." And I was like, "Yeah, it's really not." And so I ended up with the school getting involved, and, like, her and everything like that. I got placed with them. She was able to sign as my temporary guardian. I mean, at that point, I was, like, 16 turning 17.
Yeah.
And then I turned 18, and so it was...
So it was a neighbor.
Yeah, 2 neighbors, actually.
Two neighbors that... Yes. And this happens is you said they've probably heard the screams, they've seen the looks, and so they had an opportunity to help, and they did. And
I am very, like I said, I think I got very lucky after that, because I wish I could be like, I did everything by myself, like, but that's not the case. I always, like, by making these connections and like, so, and I mean, at that point, like, because they already had 3 kids, like, I do remember feeling really bad because the room was, like, pink and covered with, like, puppy pictures, because they had to move, like, the youngest daughter into the other sister to make room for me.
Wow.
And,
are
like,
you still in contact?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Like, at the point, like, you're 16 going, like, it wasn't, like, a parental figure, but, like, they really did.
They helped out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Made sure I had.
And this was in the neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
Did your parents have any reactions to this?
Not that because I think I don't even think I've ever admitted this. Like, I say foster care because it's easier than saying, like, when it came to that conversation, instead of just doing better, or they just said, "You take her," like, Garrett. They didn't care. They didn't want to deal with it. They didn't want to. And, like, CPS had been to our house multiple times.
No, they didn't
point that.
They didn't want anyone getting involved.
No.
They didn't want an investigation to happen. They didn't want the truth to come out.
Nope. And
so they're just like, yeah, you take her.
And and so I think the people I was placed with, like, I babysat for them for years.
So they knew you.
Yeah. And I think I was so numb, and, like, there was times where I would stare at a wall, like, if I'd gotten everything taken away. I remember like, I would be able to, like, kind of stare at a point in the wall and just, like, do that for hours. And so afterwards, like, you went from feeling no emotions to, like, I felt every emotion after that. And that's when I started, like, fighting in school, and it was like, okay, like, I was a really good kid, and then because I one of my jobs was I got paid to work in the office at school, so I would, like, answer the phone, sort the mail, and it's kind of fun because, like, this gave me, like, I knew all the staff, like, I'd have to prep the substitutes, I would work the morning shift, go to school, work the afternoon shift, and then I would walk to my other job, and that's what, and so I remember, like, them kind of working on, like, when this happened, like, the office ladies that I worked with kind of, like, like while I'm working, like filing, the stuff, and just kind of looking at me like, oh, and I was like, it was super awkward. It was, like everyone knew what was going on because I worked for the school and it was, the school knew about it. And then, but it gave me like, so I remember the first time I actually got into a fight, because I was friends with security guard, stuff like that. And then, and it was never like, oh, you talked to my boyfriend, like it was always like I felt things were unjust. My reactions weren't okay, but like I was already like at a boiling point, and so I would like just react to like if I felt like a teacher was talking to like a certain type of kid differently than the other kid, or like you're bullying a girl that can't advocate for herself.
You were protecting.
Probably not in the most stable way, but
it wasn't healthy.
I think those were
felt
my
a need
intentions.
to protect.
Like I definitely did throw a stool across an art room, but I felt like at the time my
Did you graduate high school?
Yes,
you did,
and that was because of teacher, like my my wrestling coach. He really like ingrained in me. Like he even told me like I understand you're hurting and like but he was like if you keep punishing everyone around you, like you're no better than your parents.
And who was that wrestling coach?
Pine. Coach Pine.
What? Where was this?
In Renton.
Pine? Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
You know him?
I know his son, Josh Pine.
Probably.
It's a Pine. They're like legends in the wrestling world. I've got chills right now.
Yes.
Wow.
He was like probably I had to cut weight to be on the wrestling team.
Kevin. Is it Kevin Pine? Anyway, go on.
I think so, actually.
Yeah, go on.
But I just knew him as Pine. He's bald. He used to have a ginger afro. I remember I called him a traitor because he didn't tell me
maybe not.
When he was in high school.
Anyway, so Coach Pine was instrumental in you. You've said this a few times, and I'm going to take a quick break to make sure we're getting all this recording. That connection is what saved you along the way. A lot of connection with some healthy adults that were spattered in your life, all while you had these two adults who were just horrific. You out in the community and in your world, you had some adults here and there that helped you along the way.
Yes.
Yeah, this is good. Okay. We're going to ask one more question. And then we'll go into the two closing questions. Okay. This has been really, really good. I think that whoever listens to this, it's going to give them a lot of hope if they're struggling themselves. And it's really inspiring for me as the old guy sitting here listening to you, young, what you've been through and how at even still a young age, you're really thriving. And it's really inspiring. It really is. Okay. Being in a younger season of life, you're the ripe old age of 25. What's something about adulthood or personal growth that has surprised you so far?
I think everything. I mean, like I said, I feel like I was just kind of thrown into the world without, and was just kind of like figured out. And that's been...
At 16.
Yes. Like I said, I'm very grateful for like the adults that did, that. But like, again, when you're abused from the age of 4 to 16, that's when your brain is developing. Yeah. That's like the most important time. And I'm still dealing with, like, I've worked really hard. And then, wait, sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yep. Being in a younger season of life, what's something about adulthood or personal growth that has surprised you so far?
Oh, okay. So, like I was very much go, go, go. I think, like I said, you kind of just survive. You keep going.
Get busy.
You keep going. And so once I kind of got to that where it's like when you're in survival mode, and then when you're not, it's like, this is where your body, like all of that damage that was done to your brain, it's like catching up to you. And so I didn't know, like I didn't have the resources of like how to deal with any of that. And so it's like I had gone here and I was like, okay, like, I mean, I got my first degree, like I have, I'm going through school again. And then I I didn't know about therapy. I didn't know about like, you know, any of this stuff. And it took its toll. I was struggling really hard with, and I still, like, I've had to work really hard to retrain it. But like when you're told like your entire life that like you are, like, you need to be punished, like you're a mistake, you're like, you know, you're evil, you're this, you're that. At some point, like, your brain is just wired. That's
what you
your
think.
First, it doesn't matter what you do, or like, and so it was like during the day I would be able to function, but then as soon as it was like I was alone, it was like a nightly spiral, or it was like it was just like it would catch up to you, like you're this, you're this, you're this. And I had
how
no
do you
control
combat that now?
Honestly,
what helps?
Like therapy.
Yep.
I do.
Good.
What
else?
I do a lot of hiking.
Good.
I try to move my
Get outside.
body a lot. Like release a lot of serotonin.
Your dog.
My dog.
Yep.
Yes. Actually,
dog.
that's I've never slept this well. I've never had something like that has made me feel safe at night.
Yeah.
And this, especially like his breed, his size, is why I fell in love with him. I think
you feel safe.
I think like he's the sweetest dog ever, but like you can tell he's also been through a lot. Like especially when I first got him, like if I moved too fast, he would flinch, you know, or stuff like that. And it's like having a.
So you heal each other.
I do genuinely feel like when I say like everything happens for a reason. Yeah. Like I wish I could talk to him sometimes. Like, what happened to you? You know.
You do.
But
yeah.
I feel like I've never been able. Nighttime has always been the hardest for me, and ever since I've gotten this dog, like I've been able to sleep way more than I used to be able to.
That's good.
It's just like he's always there monitoring. Like I just feel safe, and I've never really felt like that before.
Good. So therapy, getting outside, moving your body, your dog. What else helps?
Making accomplishments, I think, like setting, like not every goal I make I reached, and I think like school has been an up and down battle.
We'll get you there.
I keep like, I feel like I have an identity crisis like every year, just like, you know, as I learn more and grow.
But achieving things, doing things.
Yeah, like setting little goals of like I just got promoted. And
yes, you did.
That was really exciting for me.
Super proud.
I try to make, like, I'm going to learn this new skill. I'm going to, especially when you're told, like, part of it was, like, I didn't get diagnosed with, I had like, CPTSD and ADHD, and, like, there was some things that I didn't know I had. I actually got hospitalized after I just kind of, like, couldn't fight off the voices anymore. It was actually, it's not funny, but it was kind of funny at, like, you know, People's Pond.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you couldn't be there past 10, and so a cop had come to my door after I'd done something really stupid. And, I got taken to the hospital. Didn't really plan for after. It was kind of one of those where it's like every time I reach like rock bottom, where I'm like kind of, you know, I remember they were like taking pictures of like my arms, and then like surgery. I remember like looking over, and there was like a homeless man like sitting under the tree or on his bike. I was like, don't judge me. Like it was like I was not in the right frame of mind at all. I remember like like I was trying to fight with the nurses for a bit and they're like, if you don't cooperate, like you're gonna get sent to a psych ward. And I was like, okay, I'll be good. And then like I remember the nurse being like, this is a really cute sweater. It's like covered in blood. I'm like, I didn't really plan for it. Wow. But I had like I couldn't do it myself anymore, like everything that was going on in my mind. But that night was when I got diagnosed with PTSD. Didn't really know what CPTSD was. Didn't know I had ADHD. Didn't know I had this and that. And that's what started like my treatment. That's what's like where I've been able to get these skills. Like obviously it's not like I wanted to do that. It was just more like I didn't want to do that. I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't fight it off anymore. It had been too long. Like I just didn't have the energy for it anymore. And I just wanted it to stop. But so like that's where I got a psychologist, and like I try to keep my meds as low as possible. We try to find like
balance.
Obviously with my ADHD, like I need to be able to function, but like she's really awesome at like
Nice.
knowing I don't want to be super reliant on medication and like incorporating like more natural like stuff like that. And then I have a therapist that I actually same thing. I didn't have health insurance at the time, and a friend knew this guy because he's based in Seattle, and was like he can see you for a little bit like through telehealth until like you can get health insurance, and that turned into him basically like I still see him. He after a while he was like, I don't want you to have to pay for this. I don't want this to have to be something you have to budget. Like I didn't feel like it was just I've been through a lot of therapists, and this was the first one that like I actually connected with. It was like I didn't feel like it was just a paycheck, or just like trying to like
check off a box.
Yeah. Like, and somebody who had also like gone through some life skills, stuff like that. And so he actually like, it helps you not feel crazy when he's explaining like your brain is reacting like this because it's releasing these types of like, chemicals and really like giving me like the science behind why my brain is doing what it's doing. Yeah, it makes you like when he's like, I've seen this before, this is happening because of this, it makes you not feel insane. And it makes you like it puts like, I don't know, it makes you feel more normal. Yeah. And like so that's helped a lot, and like I'm still constantly navigating like emotions and like trying to find the balance of not just like
excuse me, sorry,
no, you're good, ignoring or like advocating for yourself and not like letting things go and go and go until you finally like reach that point where like you blow up. And like really I've never gotten so much like validation before of like he's said that I'm in the top 3 of his trauma cases, but I'm like not relying on different things.
So here's what I'm going to say to you. This just hit my brain. My path to what you've experienced with this psychologist was just personally for me was educating myself, and it was through my degree about family systems and about emerging adulthood and about how our brain functions, right? That's always been really helpful for me as a survivor of childhood sexual abuse and depression and anxiety. And I'm like you. I want a balance. Like I take anxiety medication, but a low dose, and I'm all about what you say. Get outside, move your feet, talk therapy, all of those things. Now, I'm 58 years old, and here's what I'm going to say to you, Hailee. I really shifted in my life in a lot of ways. Certainly at 30, between 30 and 40, I did a lot of good work. But for me, it was really 40 to 45 that I really did a lot of powerful work, right? So there's mine. I just want you to hear this because if you're like me, you probably still struggle in our brain a little bit with like, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not blah, 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 because of the garbage you were told as a child. What I want to say to you is you're speaking on this podcast at 25 years old with the wisdom of a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old. Like the things that you're doing for yourself right now on a daily basis is powerful stuff. And as best you can, and I always try to be mindful of saying this because I get where our brains can go. As best you can, I want you to own that for yourself. That you are doing good for yourself. And this goes into this next question that I want you to have the opportunity to tell our audience is that you are very inspiring. Very, very inspiring. Like a guy that's worked in the service industry for a lot of years, I look at you and how you are with customers. I'm like, wow, that's really fucking cool. And you're only 25, right? And you have been through the trenches of the, like you could write your own book, right? You could. Maybe one day you'll do that to give another young girl some hope, right? But it's really, really powerful. And I want you to keep, I'm kind of in your life in a way that I want to keep pushing you to do more for yourself and to keep healing. And I'm not saying you're saying that, but wow.
I do want that. Like,
yeah.
There's like there's a lot that I feel like behind in like not understanding like how things work. I didn't even know that a car has a water pump. Learned that the other day, which would actually stem from a customer that I was helping. He like
Yeah, because you talk to people.
Yeah.
You get to know people, and isn't that a powerful thing?
Yes.
How we get to know things about the world by talking to people.
Well, and people are, if you give people, like, I think it's common for people who've been hurt to, like, cut off everybody.
Yes.
And it's like,
and you're not doing that, and that's the thing, though. You could do that, and no one would fault you. That's and if she's listening, my third wife, we were together for 10 years, Stephanie, you remind me a little bit of her. She was like abused in the way that you were, and she's had to go through a lot of healing. And for a long time, she did that, close people off. And no one, you don't fault her, but you're not doing that.
I've seen how it affects my siblings, and I think I make jokes a lot. I'm like, I never want to get married. Like, I never want to have kids. But I think that stems from a fear of, that's all I've ever wanted is a family of my own.
Yeah.
To, like, start over.
Yeah.
And, like, I think all the time, like, this can't be all that. And I used to think this when I was younger, like, this can't be all that I get. Like, this can't be my life. This can't be the only thing I experience in my life.
Yeah.
And so, like, I get disappointed all the time. I get hurt all the time. And I'm sure that there's times where I've hurt people, you know? Like, I'm not, like, sunshine and rainbows falling out of my ass 24/7. Like,
I'm not hearing you say
there's times where, like, you know, I just want to be safe. And sometimes like people don't like it when you stand up for yourself or when you set boundaries. And so like I don't want this to be like, this can't be all that it is.
This isn't it.
This and so like I do have to send people off sometimes. Like I do have to, okay, I've tried this.
It's called healthy boundaries, and that's okay.
And I've had to learn that, but I can't, like, if I cut off all connections from here on out, that's all I experience. I don't get to experience, like, the person that told me about the water pump, he fixed it for me. I didn't even know it was going out. I was asking him a question about my blinker, and he was like, turn your car off, this is about to explode. And like took it to, like, didn't charge me for the labor. I tried to, you know, and like I've had customers that I've helped, and my tire blew up once. I was on the side of the road, and I said, can you and your wife come help me? I don't know how to change a tire. Like,
do you know how to change a tire now?
No.
I can teach you. It's a good skill to have.
Okay, I think he probably would have taught me, but then it's okay. It blew up. But same thing, like the customer that you met the other day, Ultraman. Like I last year found out when his birthday was, and I knew he had like lost somebody, and so made sure the store got him for his birthday. My birthday came, he showed up with flowers and he brings me salmon sometimes. Like there are people like that you can have good experiences with that, you know, sometimes it like fizzles out, or like you don't see eye to eye, and it's like I can still have love for people and like keep them at a distance, but I don't want my life to just be dark. Like I genuinely love laughing, and like I didn't get to really be a kid, so like, you know, sometimes people I know a lot of people think that I'm like ditzy and stupid because of like all the jokes I make, or, you know, like stuff like that. I know that's not true, so I don't need to like validate it.
Here, I'm going to cut you off. So I'm going to say a couple things. One, you know, we were at T-Mobile yesterday, our last Santa and Mrs. Claus. We look forward to that, and you bring light to the room. You do. You need to know that. You bring a positivity and an energy to the room that is palpable. And from a guy who, like, I think I'm pretty funny, but you make me laugh. And that's a powerful tool to have in your tool belt when you can do that. And you are a connector of people. I'm going to say it again. You are a connector of people, and you've brought that from your trauma of your past, because you are flipping the script. Yeah, I know inside you want to flip the script. You don't want to be them. You are not them. I'm going to say it again. You are not them. You have made a decision that you are not going to repeat that cycle of abuse from your past. Holy crap. So when the day comes, because it will come, when you find that guy and you get to create your own family, and I'm saying this because I've been able to do it myself, my son's doing it, you're breaking generational cycles of abuse. Holy fuck. Like there's nothing more powerful than that. So we're going to close this up. What's a message of hope or encouragement you would give to someone who's out there listening, who's trying to find their own footing in life?
You just have to keep going. It's not going to be like I said, I feel like I've hit rock bottom so many times, and like this is then, and then like you go a few months out and I'm like, oh, that's why this had to happen. Same with like when I got hospitalized, or when like, you know, certain things have happened where it's like if I would have ended it there, I didn't know I was going to get my little brothers back. That's opened up a whole new world for me. It's part of like why I was having that, you know. It's like I still have a lot that I'm figuring out. I still have a lot that I'm learning, but like it has worked out if you just give it time. If you just like
so keep going.
Like you can't, like, I'm not where I want to be. I'm still figuring out who I am to a degree. Like I'm pretty me. Like I'm pretty solid personality of like what Hailee is, I think, when you ask people, but like I'm still learning so much about what I like, who I am, and what was ingrained in me, and like what I actually am. And I like, nobody has it all figured out. If you talk to it, and part of that is what helps is like I do genuinely love talking to the older generation, the younger generation. We need each other. Yeah. Like, yeah, they don't understand electronics. Sometimes they can be outdated, but like they know how to cook, they know how to sew, they know how to, you know, build things. They've been through what they're at our age. Like they've been through heartbreak. They've been through, like, if you talk to these older generation, like they have all of the advice that you need. And sometimes people can be crotchety and rude and you know, but also if you do genuinely speak to them, a lot of them have been through pain and, you know, everything. They have had the life. Everybody goes through it. Everybody has something. And like that's if you talk to people, most of the professors have talked to you like, oh yeah, I did change my degree so many times, or like, you know, I started here, or like I was married this many times and like figured it out eventually, or you know, like that you're not the only one, and you don't know that unless you have these conversations with people. And so there's so many like people that have given me, like, when I feel down about like my timeline, or I haven't done this in this amount of time, or like I'm doing, like, you know, it works out eventually. Yeah. It may not be right now, it may not be for another couple of years, but it like I said, there's so many times where I've been like, this is like, how am I going to get out from this? Like, how am I going to figure this out? Like, there's no up from here. And then up happened. I'm like, oh, that was dramatic. Like, figured it out, you know? I was worrying about something maybe I shouldn't have worried about. Yeah. That's a good message. And so your message is if I go backwards, you don't have to have it all figured out. Things usually work out. Keep talking to people. Yes. Because that's how we learn and grow. I love that you said this, and this is why I want to have more young people on this podcast, is we need each other. Oh my God, do we need each other? Like, I need you. Like I tell my students, I need you in the world. You're our future leaders of the world, right? And so we need each other. All generations need each other. And what was the first thing you said? I don't remember. I don't either. They can listen. They'll listen. Okay, last question, and this one's for me. What's a question you've always wanted to ask me? And I guess, as somebody who is still trying to reach that point of, like, all these trials and tribulations have led to this, I guess, like, when was your moment where you were like, I don't have to watch my back anymore? Like, I don't have to, like, wait for the ball to drop? Yeah, like, when was the moment, I guess, where you're like, okay, like, all the work I put in, everything is like, this is where it was supposed to lead me, because I'm still waiting for that point of where I'm supposed to be led. Well, you might not like this answer. I'm still not sure I'm there. While I don't worry that the world's, that my whole world's going to come crashing down. And I'm looking back because you and I have been through trauma. That trauma that I went through that really like shapes us as kids and goes in, it doesn't completely ever go away, but it doesn't affect me like it used to.
it doesn't affect me like it used to. It still crops up from time to time. But doing the things that I do on a daily basis, I guess I would say, really helps keep it at bay. And the same things that you are doing now, I have done and I will continue to do if needed, which is therapy and getting outside. And I have my morning routine that I do every day because for me, it's mornings. Yeah, I can wake up some mornings and I'm in my head. And it's those tapes that are saying, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you are what they said you were, which is fucking bullshit. That can crop up, right? And I've created for me, it's my morning routine. Get up early, get out of bed, go walk the dog, get outside. And it shifts for me. And then I go, okay. It's surrounding myself with people that I have that sign right there. They can't see it, but you can. And it says, he believed he could, so he did. My sister gave me that when I became Dr. D. It's surrounding myself with people that believe in me, even when I can't believe in myself. And I'm sorry that my message is it doesn't completely go away. It doesn't ever completely. And this is what I want to say to parents. If you're a parent out there, do your fucking healing. Because, right? You see us nodding. This shit affects you for your whole life when you're products of parents who have their own damage and they're not willing to do the healing. Oh my God. It's shitty. So now the positive thing though is like, I have a good fucking life today. I have a good life. And it's because of what you've talked about, because of people. You said this so many times as a young 25-year-old woman. You've said it so many times and it's so beautiful. You didn't do it alone. You haven't done it alone. I haven't achieved what I've achieved in isolation. It's because I've gotten out and I've gotten busy. I've stepped into scary things. I've gone to the counseling when it's talking about mental health. I've talked to the doctors. Schooling, it's like me that I'm a fucking college professor. What the fuck? Like I was in jail, I was done. At 29, I was done. Well, guess what? The universe had other plans. So, I'm ranting at this point. That's it. We did it. This has been great. Okay. This is perfect. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Until next time.